Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork Noodles for your first new breakdown on the channel for summer 2024. This is Tower of God Season 2. Welcome back to the channel if you have been following me for the first time. Hello if you are new. We never actually broke down the first season on the channel. If we did, I can't remember it. So someone's going to be like, actually you did, and I don't remember it. But I am a huge fan of Tower of God because I am an advocate for manhwa adaptations, essentially. I have made it my duty to watch all of them, and I think I did say Tower of God, out of the batch that basically aired, was the most potential. And I will say I am very impressed by how Season 2 looks way better anyway. A few of my little, hang-ups might have been the way that the original season looked, but I think they've kind of fixed it because it looks a lot different this season. Welcome to the channel, guys. We're going to be breaking it down, going through the bits and pieces that I find interesting, bits that I find of note. Heads up, I played Hero Cantare back in the day. Ever since I changed my phone, it's not let me log in, so I can't log in anymore, and I've not got any updates, but I do know some stuff, so I know who certain characters are, and I don't know plot points, so it's not really going to be a spoiler warning or anything, but it is just going to be a heads up that I do recognize some people already. But that's really about it because I haven't got into actual plot elements or anything. But I am very excited to break this one down because it's the one that I feel had the most potential. I think it's a good vibe. I think we are actually going to get some good stuff out of this show because the source material was so widely hyped. A lot of people hyping up this show in particular. Before we get going, make sure you guys are subscribed if you are new as well. We are going to be bumping around at some point during the season because I am moving over to Saga in Japan. Reviews will start coming out whilst I'm in Japan, which I'm very excited because it means I'll be like, hey guys, I'm in Japan right now. I have got a replacement computer coming through. The same one again, but I've had to cripple myself financially because of the ongoing issues with a big retailer I'm having right now, which is quite painful. But we have a new computer coming through tomorrow, which means I could try and set that up, which means essentially next week you're going to have better quality recordings, better quality videos, lots of streaming opportunities. I'm going to get Iona out. She should hopefully run better on a new device, so lots of things to look forward to. But let's just get straight to it because this week we've got a lot to cover. We've also got to get the first big elephant in the room out of the way, that Bam is back and he is alive. He looks a little bit different. Essentially, I remember the hashtag that was going live all last season. The F Rachel is back in chat because I am not a Rachel fan. I do know some people who are absolutely mad for Rachel, and fine, fair enough, but she is not on my happy list. I don't like her. I know some extra stuff that makes me not like her even more. The hashtag F Rachel is back in place. Feel free to use it every so often in the comments because it makes me feel better. We do get a bit of a catch up at the start of the episode. There's a few time skips going on, so I'll make sure I try and highlight them when I find them. Initially, we get a bit of a update on what happened at the end of the last season. So Bam has fallen and he's now being spurred on by our mysterious redhead character. The names are still going to be something that I mess up on because I'm so used to getting my head around Japanese names, the South Korean ones as well. They're doing a number on me and I'm going to try my best to make sure that I don't let them trip me up for too long, but you're just going to have to bear with me on this one. But Bam being spurred to continue climbing to get his answers at the top, but Bam doesn't think his answers are up there. Now we know that Yuri managed to collect the green April at the end of the last against Anak, I think her name was. She has 2 of the weapons now, but we do get to see some more princesses this time. We've got Mas Sheni, which I think is the one linked to Kun. Then we've also got the purple haired one. I think I had both in the game as well. I actually had both of them. A little idea of some of their abilities, what life is like on the Princess Tower. Maybe being able to even scan the tower as well, because one of them seems to making a trade deal with Yuri to actually find Bam. I don't know what she asks the princess to find her. There's a lot of little question marks, but those are what makes the story so amazingly fascinating to me because I like the fact that you barely know a lot of details. We also know that the prince is also returning, which I think is Prince Jihad is his name. I'm going to try and get some of these right at the most. But I will say off the bat, the animation just looks better. I don't know whether it's because they've added in more contrast, whether the shadows look nicer. The look of the anime just looks a lot better than the original anime. The original anime was nice, but I think it was lacking almost the shadows. Maybe it was actually the shadows that they've put in. Now let's talk about the OP. It was thanks to Tower of God that I found Stray Kids. So I've got a lot to thank you for because I actually like them. They're amazing. I've gone through most of the back catalogue. I do know a K-pop band, guys. There you go. We do seemingly have a new K-pop band taking over this season. A bit sad on that, but they do sound kind of cool. So I get it. The vibe has changed completely. They are called Nizuyu. I believe, or like Nizu, maybe, because I know some of those K-pop bands tried to have quite fun little acronyms in the titles, so maybe that is what this one is. But it's a completely different vibe immediately off the bat compared to the last one. You might even want to go and rewatch the last one to see what I mean by contrast, because this is huge. You've got colour, cartoon, it looks a little bit comic-y in a sense because of the way they're styling it, which maybe that's why the anime looks a little bit different. It's very poppy, of course. We've got a female band now taking the reins. It looks really, really cool. There is a tease of who used to be my husbando. He seems to be a bit of a douche in this. And Mazino is back. You can see he's back in the actual anime, in the OP anyway. He was my husbando in the game just because he was so good at doing a lot of attacks and he was really quite useful to have. Whether that translates into this anime, I don't know, but you do get a little tease of him in this episode as well. But it is quite a bit of a 180 compared to the old anime where things felt a little bit more religious, a bit more downtrodden, whilst this one feels really happy, upbeat, bouncy. Bam is constantly reaching out to the rest of the group, which have now moved ahead, obviously, but he can't keep up with them. There's these trippy visuals. You've got these real visuals put in against these animated visuals. I think feels really, really confusing, which is good because this show is completely confusing at times. The new group that Bam's going to be with also in the OP as well, so lots of stuff going on. A lot of climbing motion, upward motion, just to show you this is the motive. This is how we move in a tower. We're trying to go up. We're not going back. We're not looking back or anything. I think it is a fantastic OP. It's going to go on my shortlist. About 6 weeks time. I'll be in Japan by this point, so I don't know how that's going to translate, but we are going to have the midway. In the midways, I always crown top 3 OPs EDs. Is Tower of God going to see itself making that entry list? Because I do think this is a very solid OP. Now, we are entering into level 20 from what I can gather from this week's materials, and it really does feel like its own little world. And you can see why people just give up climbing and they just end up choosing to reside on the level that they've come up to. Level 20, for the most part, this looks like a normal world where this guy's even got an apartment, he has a bath, he has food, there's loan sharks, sure, and you can see that a lot of people get into debt trying to take the entrance exams to try and move up another level. People end up stuck on the levels that they're on. I did get a bit of a cyberpunk vibe to our new character called, I'm going to call him Ja. I think that's what I'm going to call him for now until I get a better nickname going for him. A bit of a cyberpunk vibe, a bit of a, this is Denji from Chainsaw Man. He's in debt, obviously. He's trying to move up. He's got loan sharks trying to grab his organs and everything. But you get the vibe that things, for people who can't make it, people who can't actually progress any further, who end up being stuck on the level through choice or because they're in debt and they can't actually go any higher, you can see what life is like for them, which I think is really, really enjoyable. The ramen is doing me favors right now because I love food in anime. I am really hungry as well, so the thought of the idea of ramen in this was really, really nice. Even in this room alone when they're talking and they're eating the ramen, it just felt like there was more contrast, a lot more depth to the colour palette, whether they're just adding more to the colour palette. That was one of my big critiques, I think, of the first season, was just the fact that the colour palette, I get it, it was being ripped from the manhwa, and it does look like the manhwa. If you actually go look at the manhwa, a lot of the season 1 just looks quite off the bat like it, but I think the adjustment to the screen is quite nice, even if it is just adding in a bit more depth to the colours. We do end up meeting our boy quite quickly, and we are going to note that Bam does have another name at this point, and I don't remember it. So that's probably for the best that I'm not going to spoil it, but it's going by a different pseudonym at this point. But it is your time skip. Your idea that there's been a time skip is right here because Bam's hair is really long. If it's anything like my hair just doesn't grow, but we could maybe even say that being in a tower, time flows differently, maybe his hair's grown differently, lots of little things, but all we know for now is Bam is back, but he is very much a different character from the meek boy that we first met in season 1, the one who needed to be protected. At this point you can see that he's pretty much wiped out a lot of people, and when our boy is just there going, oh crap, what do? I do like the longer hair on Bam. I think it looks nice. I like the new outfit. I think it looks good. We're gonna have to get him a nickname or something. It does have the best strats. It's just cower behind the strong dude. Try not to get yourself attacked and wiped out that quickly. Buy yourself some time. Do what you can because Bam is terrifying right now. I think it's a good strategy. Just talk lots and lots and lots and really hope it works. Bam sitting down was just like, oh, okay, maybe he's just seen it's pointless. He doesn't really see any threat from this guy, so he's not going to try and wipe him out. But it did seem like he was just kind of like out of it on his own, not really wanting to talk to anybody. The dude doesn't really get any lines. I think that's the joke at the little end with the chibis, where he's like, I'm the main character, I spoke loads, and Bam just gets a pat on the back, and it's like, yeah, I didn't say anything this episode. I think he says like a total of 2 lines, really bringing in that he's a completely different character. He's been through a lot, you know. He was stabbed in the back by somebody who he cherished, and he's still trying to chase. And being betrayed will do that to you. I can understand him not wanting to talk. The fact that he was probably going to wipe out a kid, the lady. For some reason, they looked so similar. I was calling them mum and daughter, but they're not. Bam going for those guys would have made me go, wait, Bam, have we turned into the dark side? It does seem that this is going to be the group that we're dealing with on the higher levels, because they're also in the OP. We are told quite quickly about Fug. I think they're called Fug or Fug, which they are opposing Jihad, the establishment of the tower, because King Jihad, what I can remember from season 1, he climbs the tower. His establishment currently running the tower, hence the princesses serve him. But Bam's group is against it. They're trying to bring down the current establishment. You could see how OTT, how insane Bam now is power level wise. He's insanely leveled. He's got a lot more control, a lot more skills. He can even like summon something that ends up allowing him to heal. So Boy has been definitely working a lot in this time period. I don't know how long has passed. I don't remember any of that. You're actually in a good place, because I barely remember anything. I just know other characters' names. That's literally all I can remember, because in the game, you just got characters and you had to fight different stuff. And I just remember a few of these characters' names. I don't know any of the scenarios, but it does seem like a lot of time has passed. Bam has really leveled up. The Kevin Penkin score is back. I love Kevin Penkin so much. The guy is just so good at... He's just so good at making worlds. The thing I would credit him for being the strongest point for Kevin Penkin is he's able to really create a world via music, via the use of his music to tell a story. His best known work for me still is Made in Abyss, but it was very closely followed by this anime in particular, because he's able to give it a feel of almost religion, otherworldly type feel. Things felt very, very kind of on edge through his music, and it really does start to play. The Tower of God motif even plays during a bit where Bam starts to deliver a bit of a beat down to the people around him, because he doesn't want them there anymore. He just wants to be the only person going up, which we don't really want, because that's not exactly how the first test works. 10 people get that chance. Allow 10 people to climb the tower, because every single person climbing the tower has their own desires and their own wishes. And it's not until Ya basically goes, hey, I need to climb the tower, does Bam suddenly get hit back by a recollection of trauma of his past and being pushed, and why he was climbing in the first place. Because I think Yar basically reminds him of Kun, and I miss Kun because Kun was actually my boy and I loved him. Did he even get Husbando of the season? Maybe he did. I think Kun was one of my favourite characters. I'm sad that we're not really seeing him at this point in time. I don't know if they're going to flip back and show us what's going on in the other group, but maybe they will. It wasn't until that moment when he says, like, I've got my own reasons to climb, that he gets an opening. He's able to attack Bam because his defences fall right down. It's not because his cheap little bombs are better or anything than these strong characters. It's just Bam found an opening to actually have a trauma moment, have a flashback. And it's that moment where he's able to actually attack him. And essentially, he runs out of time. So everyone now going up is the people in the OP. They're going to be in the OP. I bet they end up getting stuck together in a group because Bam doesn't seem to want to be social, and that's a good way of making him be social, and maybe that's how he's going to start remembering who he was, because I'm presuming time has really passed by. I guess he can't actually remember what happened. So we don't even know what's going on in the other group, how far they've climbed, how far ahead are they, what's our girl Rachel up to right now? Hashtag FRachel. That's just going to be the hashtag for every episode, I'm sorry. But the ED, I didn't really have much to talk about. It's just the roll credits. We might get the actual credit sequence next week, because generally that's how anime works. You just seem to get the OP first and then you get the ED. Normally it's backwards, but this time we're going this way around. But honestly, it's a fantastic episode. It looks better already, so my initial issue is gone. Things are very different. We've had a time skip. Bam is just being emo. He's going through an emo, angry phase right now, and I get that. You've been betrayed. You're having to climb up. You want to get those answers. You need to go and chase them. And Kun is not in the picture right now. I miss Kun. So I also am feeling very grumpy. But I really can't wait to see what the second season holds, because this is a very widely acclaimed manhwa. A lot of people saying that this is like the best manhwa ever, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why they actually made it one of the first adaptations they did, because God of High School and this, they were so highly acclaimed. I do not forgive them for what they did to God of High School. God of High School was just horrible, just crushing 90 volumes into 2 episodes. It started so good and it just fell apart so quick. So I really don't want that same treatment to this show. This show at least needs to have a fair chance to get most of the good stuff out. And I think I'm very excited to see where it goes. I do think it has got the potential, and I really hope that we get some answers this season. Hashtag F Rachel, am I right? Have a great day, guys. I will update you on the ongoing scenario when it comes to the big retail giant and whether they give me my money back or not. Who knows? We are going to have a new computer tomorrow. I'm making sure that I open the box as it arrives. I've gone for a different retailer completely. I just need a new laptop, guys. I'm moving soon. Thank you so much for your continued support. I hope you guys are looking after yourselves. I will see you guys again soon. Bye, guys.